Oop,
What's
there
happening,
it is.
folks?
Oop, there
We
it
here.
is.
Look, Drew, you want to host this one? Dig it.
Oh no, no, go ahead. I'll let y'all do the intro.
We gotta wait for the old Instagram to catch up anyway. So give me 1 second. That's where all the good stuff
Hey,
is.
you got it though, man. The tech guy, he figured it out.
Yeah, it takes well, it's semi tech. I don't.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a
That's
while.
right. 300 and something episodes. I think yeah, I would have figured it out by now. But we're back on with Drew, the Moose Man. Drew, how are you, bro?
I'm blessed, man. It was a beautiful day, man. It's been a busy season. It's awesome, man. I'm going on a canoe trip, 7 days on Allagash this weekend, so it's been amazing, man.
Man,
It's a
that's
pleasure to be on here with y'all. I appreciate y'all having me on here.
hey, no, we appreciate you jumping on with us, dude. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's it's a blessing. It's a blessing, is what I say. Why don't we put this thing right in 4 wheel drive like we're in the Allagash? Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do?
My name is Drew. I'm from Florida. I was born in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Grew up in Port St. Lucie. So I grew up as a city kid, so I'm not used to the woods. I've been in Maine for 8 years now, and it's been a blast. I love it here. You know what I mean? I came here with no knowledge of the woods, nothing, pretty much. I've stuck around a lot of intelligent hunters, Maine guides, and everybody like that, and they really changed my perspective on everything, pretty much. You know what I mean? But I came here, fell in love with the place, started chasing moose, and now I have a business collecting and selling moose antlers. It's amazing. It's how I pay my bills.
So rip it back to the beginning, bro. Like where? So you're in Florida, and what? You get abducted by aliens and get sucked up to Maine? Like how did this all happen?
So my pops, he's from Brazil. He's pretty strict on certain things. One of the things was cannabis. He wasn't, too fond of that. And so when I was 18, he gave me a couple choices, and one of my choices was to move to Maine and stay with my grandma for a little bit. You know what I mean? So she was willing to take me in when I was younger. So I took the opportunity and I came here, started a whole new life. Pretty much, literally just had to abandon my past life and just come here and figure it out. And and then my first week here, I wanted to go back. I wasn't feeling it. I was like, man, there's nothing here. It's just snow and old people and freaking. There's Target. No offense to my older folks, man. There's some wise people out here. You know what I'm saying? But that's initially what I saw when I came out here. That's from a Florida perspective. I come from a multi-diverse, multiculturalist place. You know what I'm saying? It's very diverse in Florida. I grew up around everybody pretty much, but over here, it's definitely very different. But people, I think Mainers are amazing. Some of the best people I've ever met. You know what I mean? I've been all over the world pretty much. I've been all over the country, and Mainers are the best. They got a little attitude on them, but they're willing to help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They help you out, but they're gonna be like, what were you doing out here anyway?" You know what I mean? They'll give you help for it,
It
but
was
they gonna help you.
it was middle of the winter too when you showed up for the first time.
It was January. I moved here January 2018.
Yo, nope.
I've never seen snow. I came out the airport. I came out the Portland Jetport like, holy crap. I was like, damn, it's real. And I was like, I could be out here for a little bit. Stood out there for like 30 seconds. Went right back in the airport. I was freezing. Said, nope, not for me, man. Mm-mm. But now I'm a freaking polar bear. I'm out here collecting antlers in the winter. The entire winter, pretty much. I'm out there from November until May, pretty much constantly.
What like I mean, you obviously wanted to run back to Florida as fast as you possibly could, I could imagine. Like it's just you literally stepped off the plane in a whole different world. I mean, and like
Literally, a whole different world. It was too much for me. It was overwhelming.
and how did it go? Like what was like some of the first strides to even really get cuz I mean, it's a lot to conquer and take over to get to the point where you're at.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Listen to this. When I first moved here, I was afraid of bugs. When I first moved to Maine, I'm from Florida where bugs are scary as shit. You know what I mean? Bugs are terrifying. We got giant wasps, hornets, everything, big snakes. It took me a while to swim in fresh water out here. It took me many years to swim in any body of water in Maine because I'm from Florida where every body of water has a gator trying to kill you. You know what I
Everything
mean?
down in Florida wants to kill you.
Everything in Florida wants to kill you. And I knew that when I tried to hike back in Florida like I do out here, didn't work out. uh
So what was the first time that you found your first antler?
My first time I found my first antler. So I was introduced to hiking from my first friend in Maine. His name is Sean. And he introduced me to hiking. We hiked around Thompson pretty much. Then he took me to Rangeley one day. And then he took me to Tumbledown Mountain, right? And then I got into hiking a lot more. I got into the woods. I started to see it. And then I went ice fishing one day. 2020, I went ice fishing on Moosehead Lake. And this is right after I seen my first moose. Also at Moosehead Lake by the B-52 crash site. Beautiful area. If you've never been over there, check it out, folks. And pretty much I got bored. We're ice fishing. You know, I've never ice fished before. It was cool for the first hour. Then I got cold and bored. You know what I mean? There's not much to do besides wait for the flags. And so I got bored. You know, I've been seeing antlers on like social media and stuff like that. People finding antlers, and I was still obsessed with moose, even though I already seen my first one. I wanted to see more. So I got bored. I started walking on the ice. And there's this piece of land right there. So it's actually an island on Moosehead Lake. I'm not afraid about revealing the spot no more because whatever, man. If you get there and you find an antler, you earned it. Good job. You know what I mean? But I got bored. I walked on the island, started walking through the snow. The snow was super tall too. And I eventually found moose tracks. And I called my buddies. I'm like, yo, I found some tracks. They're like, no, that's deer. I'm like, no, these prints are way too big to be deer. These are like, you know, the space between each step was huge. So I followed the moose tracks, and eventually I found my first antler right there in the snow. It was an old antler from the same moose who was walking around. Actually, he was about 2 years younger, because the antler was a couple years old. So when I first found it, man, I pretty much cried for real. Like, no pride aside, man, I cried. I shed a tear. I thought it was fake at first. I thought someone was just playing a prank on me. But I picked it up out the snow. It was frozen in there, pulled it out, picked it up, and I just started bawling my eyes out because, like, I couldn't believe it was real. You know what I mean? My buddies calling me. Everybody from the ice is calling me like, yo, you've been gone like 4 or 5 hours. You okay? I'm like, dude, I found an antler. And they're like, nah, no way you didn't. I came off the island, walked back to the tent. They picked me up on the snowmobile. Boom, lifted that thing up. They're losing their minds, man. And ever since then, I've caught the bug. It's a shed bug.
Have you ever gone back there and tried to find more antlers?
That's where I found my first 6 antlers ever. So I found, right after that, I found another old antler. I went back. So that was in the winter. I went back in the spring. So I kind of went back too early, though. You know, I wasn't knowledgeable at the time about that. So shout out to Wilson's on Moosehead Lake. I'm good friends with them. They let me pull up to their, cabin area and let my kayak off because they have a public camera on there for Moosehead, so you can see the conditions of the ice, you know. So at the time, I saw that it was melted. So I went out there, right? What I thought was the island I was looking at on the camera was actually the first inlet. You know, there's a little peak of land sticking out. That's the mainland. The island was behind it, and there was still a bunch of ice. So I'm kayaking and then eventually hit a bunch of ice. So I'm like, ah, damn. So I started taking my paddle and my knife, and I'm dragging my way through the ice, you know, until I got to a solid part. I got out, started walking next to my kayak. As soon as I started to fall on the ice, jump back in. You know what I mean? All the way until I got to the island. That's madness. I'd never do the same thing again. That was crazy. I was like, yo, if there's one antler on the island, there's got to be more. So I kept going. And then from there, I found my second and third antler. And then really when the ice finally melted, I went back, I kayaked safely. And I found my first brown, pretty much. I got a video of it too. I'll send it to you after this. But just walked up on my first brown. And then pretty much that was in May. And then September, October, I went back with a buddy and we found the match to it. And the match to my first antler ever, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude. You earned it.
Yeah. Oh, dude. My first journeys, like my first Mooseman journeys, going to the island was rough. Like, especially for me, I'm, not used to that type of thing. I just roughed it out and I just went because I knew I had to get back there by any means. Because I had trouble finding antlers on the mainland. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? I just started looking for antlers pretty much. Just first time shed hunting pretty much. And that's the only place I've ever found antlers in the beginning. So I just kept going there because might as well keep looking. You know what I mean?
Did you like at night just dream about looking for those antlers to find?
Oh yeah, it kept me up at night, dude. I can't believe I didn't go back earlier. I spent more time on mainland looking around, just had no luck, didn't know what I was looking for. It took me years to get to the point I am where I'm finding 100+ antlers a year now. You know what I mean? But that was the honey. That was the first honey hole, man. That's like my secret island right there. I haven't been back since. Well, I saw a family of bear one day. I ran into the very moose who dropped those sheds. Like I ran right into him, pretty much, like behind these trees. We scared each other. We got up at the same time and took off. It was hilarious. Not at the time though. Like now looking back, it was kind of funny, but
So
scary as shit.
so what were some of the trials and tribulations to start to find those antlers in other places?
Pretty much just man, I used to go there with. I used to go up north with no spare tire, no tire iron, no jack. I just had to get up north. So I used to go to Rangeley a lot. I just had to get there, you know what I mean? So I just hit dirt roads and I drive around looking for moose, you know what I mean? And pretty much I was expecting to find an area I thought looked good to walk around look for antlers. I had no knowledge of it, pretty much. You know what I mean? So it was just pretty much learning the ropes and learning the hard way, pretty much, like catching flats in the middle of the bush with no way to fix it. You know what I mean? I've been stuck a few times, like when I was younger, people are gonna be mad about this, but when I used to drive on a snowmobile trail in Jackman, I got stuck one day. I was stuck all day pretty much until a group of snowmobilers came by and pushed me out, and then I had to back out the whole way because it was super hot that day and the snow was getting soft. Pretty much, just a
Jeez.
lot of ignorant, just full send trips. Pretty much, you know what I mean?
Well,
Not
if
ignorant, but just like kind of like oblivious of the dangers I was putting myself in. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're not from that area or you don't understand what it's all about, because at that point you didn't, right? You're from Florida, dude. You didn't have a clue what the Northwoods had to offer and how desolate it is and how dangerous it actually is. And people just think that like, oh, I can go up there and do that. No, no, you cannot, because it is a scary place.
It is. That's life or death up there, big time, especially in the wintertime. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When
Yeah,
it's
even
not so
this.
cold, you have a much better chance of surviving. But in the winter, if you don't have help, man, good
Well,
luck.
like mud season and stuff like that. Like, dude, you can go off some beaten path and end up in the middle of nowhere, and it could be a week before someone comes up there and finds you, if not more.
Yep, you just sink right in some mud and you're off trail somewhere. They'll never find you. You know what I mean? I've
S-
I've had a lot of help though up north, thankfully, and I've learned the hard way in the beginning. You know what I mean of about just picking the right roads and just being smart. It's all about being smart. You know what I mean? Even though I did what I did when I was younger and just learning how to do this, I was still smart about what I did, in a way. You know what I mean?
So, as you slowly started to progress into a better shed hunter and really start to understand what it was all about, there's a lot of negative that comes from it too, of different people that kind of, bash you, shed wars, so on and so forth. Like, take us through some of that, and so people can understand that it's not all grip and grins and glory.
Yeah, pretty much. Shed hunting has become super popular in the past. I'd say past 10 years, especially in the past 5 years, it's blown up completely. Um, and pretty much, there's people set stuck in their ways about certain things, and people just can't understand that people from other states of different cultures can come and enjoy the same thing that they enjoy. You know what I mean? And pretty much I had to learn the etiquette of the woods, pretty much. You know what I mean? When that's pertaining to like, if people show you a spot, you keep it a secret. You keep that between you and whoever showed you that area, and you respect that area. You stay out of that. You don't go in there, trying to deceive them, without them knowing. Pretty much, um, and there's been a lot of things I learned along the way, especially like just hunting and the culture out here. Pretty much, I when I first came to Maine, I had this tree hugger mentality in a way. I was like anti moose hunting, but I've met a lot of excellent people that make a living off that, and I've just learned to embrace and appreciate the culture. You know what I mean? Like they changed my whole perspective on everything, so I've been able to speak about a lot better now. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna put a timeout on this. So when you first came to the north, you were anti hunting or anti moose hunting?
Anti moose hunting. I was never anti hunting. You know what I mean? You can never be against sustainable hunting. You know what I mean? I was just more just like I didn't like the pictures of the dead moose pretty much. You know what I mean? And just because I'm not from here and that's just not what I
Yeah.
do. You know what I mean? doesn't mean I'm against people putting food on, feeding their families. You know what I mean? Putting food on
Yeah.
the table.
Was it
That's what it's about at the end of the day too. You know what I mean? Besides the trophy hunting, it's about, filling that freezer full of meat. You know what I mean? You know where it came from. It's good for you, and it's cheap. I mean, it ain't cheap, but it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper than going buying some steak at Hannaford. You know what I mean?
was it a lot of it from like you obviously had a really strong passion for moose and finding moose antlers. So was it like did you think like maybe because of moose hunting there'd be less moose and less bulls and less sheds and it would affect
Yeah.
your ability to find sheds because people were killing them?
Yeah, so basically, it didn't take me long to figure out that the moose were dying from ticks. You know what I mean? When I was looking for moose, I found a lot of dead moose in the spring that died from ticks. And so I put two and two together, and I did some research, and the population of the moose in Maine was 100,000 in the 90s. You know what I mean? Now they say it's about 50 to 60. So it's definitely gone. It's definitely decreased by at least 40%. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm looking for moose. I can't find them. I'm finding dead ones. But then every hunting season, I wasn't aware at the time, but every fall I see a bunch of dead moose. I just couldn't find them on the roads like I wanted to, like every other city kid wants to find. You know what I mean? They're not always gonna be on the roads. They're in the woods, they're in the swamps, you know what I mean? So just because I wasn't seeing them, I was kind of concerned with the population. And every time I saw a dead moose, I said, well, those are two animals that I won't find. You know what I mean? So in a way I felt like the hunting was a bit excessive. You know what I mean? Because even now, essentially, I'm not anti moose hunting, but you know what I mean. It's not really sustainable right now because I find at least 50 dead moose per year. In the past 3 years, I found at least 50 dead moose every spring, even during the winter from the ticks. And there's no
Hmm.
denying it's from the ticks because when I find a dead moose, they're loaded with ticks.
Right.
Every square inch of that moose is covered in ticks. You know what I mean? I found moose like dead, just died a day before I found them. You know what I mean? So there's no doubt that the calf are not surviving their first winter. Younger moose are not surviving their first winter. So the baby moose are dying every year, and we're killing 2 to 3 thousand mature moose annually. You know what I mean? So pretty much they're just going downhill. Pretty much. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, and
it's
it's
it's a huge controversial thing right now. There's a lot of hunters that will agree. There's hunters that will disagree. You know what I
so
mean?
so I want to dive into that real quick since you brought it up. So I think my personal opinion, and especially spending many years in the Northwoods, one of the things too, and you hear all these rumors, like the way that we actually heard something from Emmy hunting, that was at Huntstock, and they were talking about the ways that they cut the woods up there, right, and how they strip cut them and actually do that. But something else that kind of brings my mind, and I didn't even talk to him about this, and I'd like to have a conversation about this. The stripping and that Irving would do up there. One of the things that they do is they come in with an herbicide and they spray out and kill all of the grass and any of the growth that comes in between it.
And it
So
poisons the moose.
it poisons the moose, but the other thing is it causes it so they don't have a food source. So if they're
Yep.
cutting out, say, 200 acres and we're looking for that growth or that cut that's within 2 to 5 years for it to be sustainable for food for the moose, then and they're killing all of the food, then the moose don't want to
Exactly.
be there. And not only that, those tree companies don't like the moose. Like
Because they
that's
eat
a
the
known
money. They
fact.
eat all the money. They
That's
stunt
a
the growth
known
of the
fact.
saplings. You know what I mean? They stunt the growth of the saplings because that's what moose primarily eat. Besides,
Hmm.
water vegetation, pretty much is the saplings. They love the saplings. They destroy the saplings. They break them. They bend them. They chew all the ends, pretty much, and they stunt the growth. And they can't cut the trees down if the trees don't grow. You know what I mean?
So my conspiracy theory is that the tree companies, Irving and all of them, are purposely doing things to get rid of the moose because they want zero moose in the Northwoods, and
Yep.
they would allow everybody to go hunt up there and kill them things because they don't want them. They don't want a single moose walking around up there because they cause so many problems, and it's kind of half the reason why they would go in there and kill all of the new growth for them.
Yep. Big time. I've heard from a few different people that have, they're friends with a few people in the industry, the logging industry, and they've even admitted, you know what I mean, that some moose in certain zones, like zone 4 and above, there's like, I forget what the exact number was, but it's like 8 to 10 moose per square mile. They'd like to reduce it to one per square mile. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That was their plan pretty
that's
much,
their
is just to
goal.
eliminate the density. So because they think, well, I mean, it kind of works, of course, because you know what I mean. The way they strip the woods, the moose all congregate and they feed together, and it allows the ticks to spread a lot easier. You know what I mean? The ticks
Hmm.
spread a lot more because they're all congregated in that same area, pretty much. But there's a lot more to do with it, like like especially with like the small critters. The small critters will help take the smaller ticks and spread them around a lot more too. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
the nymphs, they won't just go straight to a moose. You know what I mean? They have to grow first. But it's still like, in the fall time, you can go out there and run into those ferns that are just loaded with the baby ticks. In September they hatch every year. You go up to like out west especially, and it's bad. You'll get like patches of red on your shorts or pants, and it's just long patches of ticks straight up because you just rubbed against the wrong fern, and it was just loaded with baby ticks that just hatched.
But they don't bother the human.
They don't bite the humans when they're that young, pretty much.
And the
Um,
because even when you run the dog, do you have a problem with the ticks with your dog?
Not
It,
really.
I've
This year's
never,
been horrendous though. This year was the worst year for sure.
but not
Worst
moose
year
ticks.
with uh with moose and deer ticks. The moose ticks are not really the winter ticks are not really an issue. I think they just latch onto the moose pretty much.
Hmm.
Um they don't really I don't ever see winter ticks on me or my dog.
No.
Definitely the deer ticks, the dog ticks, the wood ticks. Especially the deer ticks this year. They've been really bad.
Yeah.
Usually up north, for the entire spring, I'll find maybe 1 to 5 ticks per season. This year it's been 1 to 5 ticks per day.
Wow.
Very different. It's been bad.
That's crazy. Did
I
they
know it's terrible.
did so I want to break kind of into your business too, and kind of not your personal business, but your business of Mooseland and what that actually entails, and what you do with it and how it's come to fruition, because you were just a city boy from Florida and now you have this extensive moose selling business. So kind of tear us into that and what that actually is.
Yeah, so it's basically like a combination of my personality and how I grew up, and my entrepreneurship as well. Because when I was a teenager, my first business, I used to be known as the shoe restore guy. I used to fix sneakers for everybody in my area of Florida, pretty much.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I did for work when I was a teenager, man. I had a
Like what kind
business
of, like a
restoring
pair of
shoes.
Jordans and you would
Everything,
freshen them up?
everything. Jordans, boots, everything. I could do everything too. I was professional. I did the re-glues, I repainted, I re-dyed, I deoxidized the yellow rubber on the bottom, pretty much. I did it all pretty much. I did custom kicks. And that's what I did for a living pretty much. And then I started getting into producing. I made beats for rappers all over the country at that time as well.
So hold
Um
on. Can I get like a custom pair? I know Stevie probably wants a custom pair of outdoor drive Jordans.
Yo, that's not a bad idea. I'm not the business, but I can still make it happen. The skills didn't go away. I
Yeah.
just I just spend more time in the woods now. I don't be fixing shoes no more. I'll fix. I got friends that come to me like, "Yo, man, I know what you could do. Help me out." All right, I got you. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I would still take a client. I would never deny a client. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not what I promote anymore. I'm
I,
not like in the
I'm just
business.
busting on you, Drew.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, but pretty much those entrepreneurship skills pretty much that I utilized, I've taken it to the antler industry pretty much, because I don't just sell moose antlers no more. I sell everything. You know what I mean? Like somebody got some elk antlers for me, I'll buy those, I'll resell them. You know what I mean? I pretty much I source with multiple collectors, and I'll buy their collection, and I'll resell those as well. And it also allows me to do wholesale as well for certain stores. You know what I mean? Because I can only find so many antlers. I mean, I'm getting better every year, but I find 100 this year. I found 124 antlers, and I sold out of that in a month. So I had to just go buy more to keep the flow going. You know what I mean? Because I don't want clients to be sitting and waiting. You know what I mean? But it's just I don't know. I guess that's why people don't really a lot of support, but also a lot of hate at the same time, because they can't understand that. You know, the people that sell antlers, they're mainly from up north. You know what I mean?
Right,
From
right.
here. They've never seen somebody like me come from where I come from, talk like how I talk, dress how I dress, and still have a business doing this. You know what I mean? And I'm in the woods at the same time. I'm not just a salesman. You know what I mean? I'm an actual shed hunter.
So in the business, are you selling whole antlers, dog chews? Like what is kind of what is the whole wrap?
All of the above, man. Whatever, however somebody wants an antler, I make it happen. My biggest sellers are definitely the dog chews. I have some dog chews that I take the fresh brown grade A. I only do fresh brown grade A because a dog can chew an older antler, but there's a risk because they dry out
Mhm.
and they become more brittle. So you're basically feeding a dog a brittle bone, which could splinter. That's dangerous. You know what I mean? I love all dogs. I would hate to hurt an animal. You know what I mean? So I make sure everything I sell is grade A fresh from the past winter. If it's not grade A, I don't sell it. I only let my dog chew that because dogs can chew that if they're like a common chewer pretty much. They're good at chewing. An experienced chewer can actually chew an older antler and be okay. But everything is grade A. I got grade A dog chews. I've made my own line of pet CBD in which I take that CBD, I put it on the dog chew itself to help older dogs with arthritis, anxiety, certain joint pains. You know what I mean? It's been helping a lot of dogs with torn ACLs. And then I'll wholesale antlers for. I have people that do real estate. I have people that own stores. The same people that buy wholesale amount of dog chews for their store, which I have 17 stores that sell my dog chews right now. If they don't buy an antler, I usually donate one for them. You know what I mean? Just to have it display in the shop. So it's been any which way possible. I got painters, carvers, everything, man. I'm just trying to just find more and more ways to sell these to go find more. That's all it goes to. Goes right to the gas tank so I can go up north and find more.
That's awesome, dude.
I
It's
know it's a
so
blessing,
cool.
man. It's freaking awesome.
And
It's
it,
a
and
dream job, man. It's a dream job.
it is truly a dream job because I think and I think a lot of people for such a long time it was such a hidden secret, right? Like it
It
was like
was
there
no
was so
Facebook.
many, no Facebook, no, I mean there was a couple of websites, there's some diehard OG dudes that still doing it. They've been doing it for a long time and they're good at what they do, and we learn from them every single year, and we keep
And
them
they keep their
close.
secrets. They don't say nothing.
Bro, they're tight-lipped. I know when I had started doing it, and I tried and tried and tried, same thing. Didn't really know what to do, where to go, what to look for, whatever. And you couldn't read about it. There was no YouTube. There was no podcast. There was no nothing. And happen to have a couple of friends on. And mind you, dude, I'm 7 hours, 8 hours away from the North Woods from the first gate, and
Oof,
like, and you go to like
freaking
ask
journey.
or find somebody to help you out, and they have to like pretty much trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you
right.
got to have good vibes about you, and you got to be a good person. I mean, they got bad judgment there, but that's on them. But no, just kidding. um,
Well, for you,
yeah, for me. But no,
ah,
it's a tough thing, and a lot of people want it, bro. Like you can dog chews. Everybody wants dog chews, and once they're educated on what they are and how good they are for a dog, I mean, people want them.
people just worry. Some people are like, especially from the city, they're like, "Oh, did you kill that moose to get the antlers?" Nope. So I educate people all the time. A lot of people don't know that deer, moose, elk, and caribou shed their antlers every
Hmm.
year. They don't realize this. Even the people that live in Maine, they don't even realize that. You know what I mean? So I constantly educate, and that helps the sales a lot more too, because people know there's it's cruelty free, pretty much. You know what I mean? I'm not out there shooting the moose, cutting the antlers off, pretty much. You know,
Yeah, it's not like the white rhino of South Africa that you're there taking its horn off of its
and killing
face.
the animal. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
Oh man,
no.
it's just terrible.
Did you get a lot of flack back when you started selling moose chews and that kind of stuff? Because I think that's more the danger side than the shed hunting side.
Yeah, pretty much. There was a few other companies that felt threatened by me. There was one company that, good guy, Maine Moose Antler. That's his brand, Maine Moose Antler. He's one of the biggest dog chew companies in the state. And that guy is freaking awesome. He's seen me from the beginning. He's supported my journey. He's helped, support the business. Whether it's, if I run out of shoes, he's got some for me that I could buy for cheap and resell. You know what I mean? He's kept the business flowing. He's given me gifts for the woods. He's given me advice, some knowledge. You know what I mean? Helped me train my dog Ace. Because Ace, I'm mainly self-taught with training my dog, and pretty much, but he helped with certain aspects of that. You know what I mean? Certain like key tips that that separated Ace from the rest. You know what I mean? Just like with his dog, one of his best dogs, Turtle, R.I.P. Turtle.
Truth.
Freaking that guy's a legendary shed hunter, man. Him and his dog, legendary shed hunters, man. People
They,
like that instead of being envious and kind of like threatened by me, they're like, he's like, we could all eat. You know what I mean? I'll
that's
support you,
right.
support me, and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Because he's even had people come to him like, "Yo, why are you supporting that kid?" Blah blah blah, and he basically told them like, "Yo, like this kid was like us when we were younger. He's just getting after it." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even younger than when we started. And he's got this different type of hustle, different mentality. You know what I mean? He's not so stuck up in a small town with certain things. He's all over the place talking to people. He knows how to talk. He knows how to network. Just pretty much vouching for me. So that's why I always, shout out to Rich, man. Shout out to Rich, man,
Hat,
Moose Handler.
hats off to Rich, because so Rich was the one that took me underneath his wing and taught me everything that I know, and I wouldn't be able to even go and shed hunt if it wasn't for Rich. Like Rich has
Big time.
stood by me since 2019 when I started and going up there and moose shed hunting, and then I ended up getting a dog, and even if I wasn't in his camp, he would still constantly cheer me on and put me in, and help me out and whatever else. And I had the thoughts. So at the time, me and Stevie's a moose chew slinger, bro. Don't let that
Oh,
face fucking fool you. That boy can sling some moose shit. So uh we sold a bunch of moose chews. Like we would go to shows and we would sell moose chews. And I was like, you know what? Maybe as a side hustle, I'll get some. So I reached out to Rich and I was like, "Hey man, I think I'm gonna sling some moose chews down here in the South." And he's like, "You tell me when, man. You want to come and pick them up? You can have them. Like I'll hook you up. You know what I'm
he's
saying? Like
freaking
we'll
awesome.
get you
The
a good
guy's awesome,
price.
man.
We'll get you." Yeah, I can't say enough good things about him. He taught me the regiment, how to find moose sheds, how to train my dog. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have a shed dog, and I have a great shed dog because of Rich. Like I can't say enough good things about him, man. And he's always got the best interest of everybody on his side, man.
Big
He's
time.
always there's
He shows
times.
love, man. He shows a lot of love.
Oh,
Big
he
time.
looks he looks out for me, and he looks out for the brand, the outdoor drive. Like if we're gonna have someone on or something, he reaches out to me and been like, "Yo, hey, that's this dude might have done this, so just be careful," or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he looks out for us. He looks out for us,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
And that's I'm much respect for that dude, because it
He's
takes a
always
man
pushing you to
to
be better. One
do
of those
that.
people that's always pushing you to just be the better version of yourself. You know what I mean? Do
Yes,
things
he
right.
is.
Here's how you could do things better. Take some advice. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, he's genuine, dude.
I wish there
I'm
was more
I'm
people like that. Pretty much,
and
not
and I
enough of
think
those
I
guys.
think the jealousy is what gets a lot of people, man. Like, why can't you just be envious and not jealous? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you? Right? Is that the right way to
I don't
use
like
that?
Oh, you're
uh,
almost there. So close.
Yeah.
Why
But
can't
why?
you?
But
Damn,
we
now you
have
got me, man.
yeah. But
Why can't
anyways,
you
but
be supportive? Why can't you be supportive
there you go.
instead of envious? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of my
And
sayings, man. Don't get jealous, get hiking. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because when you post an antler on Facebook that you find, there's gonna be two groups of people. There's gonna be the people that are like, fucking right. You're gonna be like, yeah. Those people are gonna be like, man, this nah, hell no, how? Another one? Nah, no way. Don't be like that. Get inspired by it. That's why I love shit hunting, because I see people post their antlers and I'm like, damn, now I want to get out there. You know what I mean? That's the
mm-hmm.
love in it. You know what I mean?
The biggest problem with that is the same people that'll see that post and get envious and get all mad when they see somebody else's success. That's all they do is kick rocks and they don't do anything about it. The proper thing to do is use that for motivation. Like,
Yep, you can't find them on the couch.
he found another one. I better get my ass in gear. Like, I got to get out
Hmm.
there and get my
Yeah,
shit
he's
together.
out there. I gotta get out there too. You know what I mean? He's right. I gotta get looking. What am I doing here?
And that's how, in a healthy way, you kind of prop each other up, and your success
Exactly.
leads to somebody else's success, and it kind of, and
That's
then
what the shed community should be about. You
right,
know, no spot stealing madness. No like, no drama, no nothing. Support, safety. You know what I mean? We're all looking out for each other. We're all taking care of each other, giving each other advice, sharing stories. You know what I mean? That's the whole love in it. That's what shed hunting is about. You know what I mean? When you start getting into the politics and all the this and that, you take away from what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's just people
Hmm.
out there enjoying the North Main woods, treasure hunting. You know what I mean? Whether it's for profit or for enjoyment, it doesn't matter what people do. As long as you're out there enjoying the woods, not causing no problems. You ain't on the phone on TikTok all day. You're enjoying yourself. You're bringing people out there. You're bringing your friends out there. They need it. It's nature therapy. You know what I mean? You spread that love, the love that you have, and you spread it to everybody around you to help keep them going too. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's not
My
about
biggest
the.
my biggest thing is like if you're wasting that energy looking to see what Drew is doing constantly, you could take that energy and focus it into positivity to make yourself better. Like why waste all that time in worrying what everybody else is doing? Why don't you make the report instead of reading the report? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing like just get out there. Like who cares what Drew's doing? Who cares what Steve's doing? Who cares what Trev's doing? Like go out there and do it, bro. Like, what is it? Why? Like, why?
Some people are
You
just
know,
like that, man. You know what I mean? Misery loves company. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to.
it's just
Some
so
people have
sad.
certain issues that they apply to other people. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
just
but
up to them
why?
to figure it out for themselves. Because, like I said, misery loves company. So that's what it is. You know what I mean? I've had people back in the day when I started selling antlers. I used to sell skulls. Another antler company reported me to the game warden for selling skulls. So I got harassed about that. I didn't know. Thankfully, Rich told me about it a week before. Rich warned me, so I stopped doing it. And then the game wardens called me right after that, harassing the hell out of me. You know what I mean? Which they were cool about. They're just doing their job. No hate on them. But I learned. So it's just stuff like that, little petty things that go down instead of just leaving. You can't please everybody. What I learned, you can't please everybody. So
So
there's no point in trying to prove it. You know what I mean?
what is the law? Why can't you sell moose? You can't sell moose skulls. Is what you can't do.
You basically need a hide license to
Never mind.
sell skulls. Anything like that's not naturally shed, you need a hides license. You know what I mean? You need a permit to
Uh,
possess the skull and a hide license to sell it. If you don't, antlers are 100% completely legal. You don't need anything for as long as they're naturally shed, you're okay. Because a lot of times, they're if you find a skull, if it's a fresh skull, maybe they want to come check it out, see what caused the death. You know what I mean? Do a little blood sample, see if it's poaching related or just natural causes. And then for like let's say I just found that giant deadhead a couple weeks ago. I told them it was about 4 or 5 years old, and they were like, "All right, here's the tag. Let us know if you find more," because they didn't care that it was that old. They just wanted to know about it. Pretty much have the info. It's just for biology purposes. You know what I mean?
right, right.
The
Maybe they
science
can
behind it,
solve
which
something.
I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? That's no problem at
Hmm.
all. I love that. You know what I mean? They're doing their job. Shout out to them.
Yeah, and just doing the research to make it a better place for all of us, right? I mean, like to keep that place alive. Like it's and I encourage everybody to go to the Northwoods. Maybe not shed hunting. Maybe go and do a canoe trip like you're doing, Drew, or just go camp for the
You can even
weekend.
drive around and
Bro,
enjoy. It's beautiful out there. Just bring a spare tire or two.
yeah, that shale rock up there, bro, is no joke. That's the truth. But
Man, first time going to the Allagash, I caught a flat. First time ever. Got to the campsite, that thing was leaking right there. Like,
it's
damn,
crazy.
so
But
close.
the fishing up there, the musky fishing, the pike fishing, the trout, I mean, it's just a place of heaven. Like it is crazy. Like it's you drive in through the gate and you know that you are going to God's country. Like
You
that's
can feel
literally
that
what it
relief
is,
when
bro.
as soon as you get up north, you feel that relief on your shoulders. All that weight is gone. All the
Mm,
troubles you had is gone. You know what I mean? All your worries is gone, unless you got some serious issues going on, which
yeah.
you should be down fixing it back home instead of up north. You're kind of procrastinating your issues. But if it's nothing too serious and you're up there, you just need a little bit of just peace, meditation. That's the place, man. That place will save you. You know what I mean? That place changed my entire life. Up north changed my life, man.
How
Big time.
so? How so?
Well, cause I'm from a place where like in Florida, there's nothing to do besides have the best clothes, the best shoes, and have the most girls and be the coolest and act like the tough guy and talk about everybody and their issues. You know what I mean? It's very drama oriented. Over here, I'm not worried about none of that. You know what I
Do you think
mean?
it made you a better person?
Oh, big time, all day. Big time all day. And that's with grandma and all the outdoorsmen that I've been with over here that have really, helped me grow up big time. All the problems that I had with my business and everything, it started when I was younger, and just me running my mouth. But I've apologized to people that deserve that respect, and I've moved on and I've grown. You know what I mean? Now I handle things properly. I watch what I say. I handle things very professionally because my business has grown so much. I can't be acting a fool all the time. You know what I mean? Freaking bug. I can't be acting a fool. I can't be talking crazy, cursing, and talking trash about people. You know what I mean? Even when certain issues come up, people ask me about certain disagreements I've had with people in the past. I'll talk about it. I won't even talk down on them. I'll just, I'll keep it professional. Man, this bug going. Oh.
But it's probably, it's for the better, right? Because it makes you a better person, and then you're gonna grow a better business, and and we all make mistakes, dog. I mean, like let's be honest, we have all been in the same shoes that you've been in, like that you have been in. When I started a podcast, I was a totally different person than I am today, and how I present myself. You know what I'm saying? Or I had a business too, and I didn't, I had a taxidermy business. And when
Oh,
I
nice.
first started, like, bro, and you could ask Steve, I could bring up some stuff too, but the thing is, like, I would be on Facebook running my mouth.
Oh,
You know
dude.
what I'm saying, bro? I could,
Oh, you? Oh, damn.
like, you want some, you're gonna get some. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, you want it, you're gonna get it. And
My guy
Steve's
ain't backing
too.
down.
The local hunting pages, first of all, there's some idiots on there, right?
Idiots.
And you'll like, especially in season or as it gets closer to season, you see some of the dumbest posts. Or a lot of times it's a good question, but the comments and the advice that are given is just so bad. And I used to give my 2 cents. Like,
Mm.
you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about.
Leave
This
the kid
guy's
alone.
asking a simple question and you're giving them absolute terrible advice. Since I'm on the podcast now, I never comment. I don't. I
Mm.
stay out of the
So they'll
comments.
come back and haunt you.
It,
People will screenshot
it
it.
doesn't matter. Even if,
I don't care about that, really.
I can't even tell you how many times somebody would ask like a simple question, like say it's about saddle hunting, and I'll be like, "Yeah, dude, like here's my advice. Here's how I would do it." And it's not even the person that posted the original question. It's some other guy wants to argue with me, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's like, all right, dude, like you're right. You know what? You probably saddle hunt like 7 Saturdays a year. You're right. You clearly know more than me. It's just not worth it because you can't win an argument on Facebook. You can't. It,
No.
you know what I mean?
Nah.
And I learned to just don't even. A lot of times, if I really want to help somebody out and I see their question and they look like they need some advice, I just privately DM them. Just have a
Mhm.
conversation on the side.
Right. Instead of being public about it, you know what I
Not
mean?
worth it, man.
The biggest thing is that, Drew, we all come from a place that we're learning. We never all knew the information that we know today. That's because of the trials and tribulations and the failures that we've gone through, because we're not afraid to make them, right? Like you finding moose sheds, us hunting or whatever, shed hunting or just anything, growing ourselves as a human being. Like, and we've documented it since we were all young, right? So
Big
we
time.
we've grown and we've understood and whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that are trying to be where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And we want to try and help them, but there's these heroes that think they know everything and they're going to talk down on us guys who do this every day. We live, breathe, and dream this stuff every single day. We research it. We talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Like every day. And you say something and they say something like, yo, what do you know what you're talking about? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably set up and take down my tree stand or my saddle more times in 1 week than you do in a whole entire season. Who are you to tell me? And I remember to have like guys, haters. I want to talk about haters, bro. There was one dude that literally came at me and was like, "Who the fuck are you to deserve and think that you can have a podcast?" And
Damn.
bro,
Freaking Karens everywhere, man.
it's just sad. It's sad. It's like no, I don't think that I deserve a podcast, but I do think that if you want one, you can go and get one too, bro. Just
That's
put
you,
the time and the
you just
grind
gotta
in.
send them the link. Be like, hey, check it out.
Yeah, it's
Here
just
you
like
go.
it's just
Tune in.
sad.
You
It's
gonna
just
watch
sad.
anyway? Tune in.
It's
Dude,
just sad,
it all
man.
comes down to social media is the biggest downfall, to be honest with you. And
Social media sucks, man.
thing is, and it kind of sucks for you in particular, right? Because the timing of you moving here and getting into the industry and like the mistakes you made and the learning curve, like everybody went through the same shit you went through.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is a lot of us were a little bit older and we got into it younger. We fucked everything up before social media.
There's no proof. It's just
It was
only the people that were there they knew about it.
when we buried our truck in the mud on some back road on some place we didn't belong to, the only person that knew was the person that pulled us out.
Or the guy that was with us.
Somebody finds you buried in the mud, next thing you know they're blasting you on social media and everybody, you know what I mean? And it's like,
everybody is ragging on you.
so basically the difference is we fucked up in private and now and it's on
It's
social
true.
media, World Wide Web, you know what I mean? And it's just like,
We're all human, bro.
oh man. And then another thing that sucks too is like I hate this term, but unfortunately, like the three of us, we fall in that realm of content creator. And it's like, dude, if it was up to me, I wouldn't post anything. I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
I don't need the clout. I don't need to show off. I don't need to prove to anybody what I'm doing, beat my chest. Yeah, if I have a successful hunt, I do like sharing it, mostly for friends and family or whatever, right?
100%.
But you get a business, the Outdoor Drive, or your business, you're kind of obligated to put some kind of content out.
You gotta promote, man.
And then you fall into the, are you showboaty? Are you showing off? Are you talking shit? Are you, who do you think you are? And it's like, I don't think I'm anybody. I'm just doing what I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest.
You gotta take the good with the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's what you love to do, you just gotta be about your business. That's it. You know what I mean? Everything you do has gotta pertain to your business. It's gotta be your life, you know? So when you walk around and you say stuff and you talk and you post on social media, you represent yourself and your business. You know what I mean? So you gotta take the good with the bad. Whatever comes with that, it sucks to, post so much and be about it, but it's also promoting your business. And you just gotta, whatever comes with it, you just gotta take it in stride. You know what I mean?
I think it's a good thing though, bro, because let's like take Hunt Stock for example, dude, and that's a minuscule example. But like when we go somewhere or do something, the amount of friends that we've met or we bring along with us, like yourself, I saw you. I've been watching straight up, like I've been watching your YouTube videos since day one. I'm gonna be honest, like straight up. I've been watching what you've been doing for a long time, and just watching you grow, dude, and just being like, yo, just that silent cheerleader in the background, like, yo, this dude's got something cool going. I'm looking forward to that build, and then seeing you at Huntstock and like just introducing ourselves, like I'm like, bro, this dude made it, like good for him. I'm glad, like all the haters and shit, like he's doing something right. But
I appreciate you, brother.
And
They gonna say whatever they want, all the haters, this and that. But the thing is, when I went to Huntstock, if I was a bad dude, I wouldn't have gone to Huntstock. You know what I mean? A scumbag's not gonna show his face. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But when I went there, it was all love, all day, man, all freaking day. So the two people that are hating, they can say whatever they want. But at the end of the day, it's all love in the community. And people know, they see what's going on. They see people run their mouths and they see how certain people just handle their business and mind their business. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? Like, people know what's going on. And when I went, man, it was all love, all day. People of all ages, of all different locations, they came up to me. They say, what's up? They introduced themselves. They said they see me. They heard about me. We've been friends on Facebook, Instagram, all that, man. It was love all day. From the moment, especially when I started taking the shots out of the antler that y'all promoted, you're like, hey, y'all started that whole thing, man. Y'all started that too. And then it turned out to, people saw it. They said, yo, bring that thing to the bar over there.
Yeah,
And so
Drew.
we begin.
The other thing, you know this more than anybody growing up in the city in Florida. If you come around and you got something that you did wrong, or you want to run your mouth, and you step around a couple of boys that aren't afraid to say something, it's gonna be said to you. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? Like if
big
you,
time.
I mean, that's just the way it is, right? Like so. They're not people. It's just the way it is. You can talk all you want on a keyboard, but when it comes to reality, reality is reality. You know, and that's
I didn't think we were gonna go down that road.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
don't have
Hey, no,
to.
no matter where you from, what you look like, there's good people and there's bad people, man.
Since you
There's good and bad people. No matter where you are, what you do, there's good and bad people. It's all about how you handle that shit. You know
let,
what I mean?
let me ask you this though, Drew. When you go to the show and you get mad love, right? Everybody's cool. When you do bump into a lot of those people, not a lot of those people, but say somebody that clearly a hater. Clearly, maybe there's words exchanged in the past, or you heard this, he said, she said shit, and you see them face to face. What do you find usually happens? Do they avoid you, or do they usually come up and act like they're cool, or they
They
just
avoid you. They avoid you, and then they'll come to your friend later and start talking about you to them.
mm,
You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It happened in Hunstock. I'm not gonna start no drama. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
you're
say
good.
who. You
oh
know what I
yeah,
mean? But my buddy came up to me and was like, "Yo, man, the guy started talking to me about this and that, and trying to say that you're a bad dude and this and that. Stay away from him. That's why people don't like you because you hang with him. Starting all this he say she say stuff. And I seen the dude over there, and he already started some problems with Pat, the management, and I had to move some antlers of mine pretty much. And basically, I didn't start nothing. I minded my business. I walked over there. I walked past. I seen the guy. Went like this. I was like, yo. I
hell
just went like this because I'm not gonna go over there and start no problems. That's
yeah,
not what I want. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's definitely not,
Yeah.
and that's not for me, not for him. You know what I mean? Like,
Anyways, so I want to take it back a little bit because I thought this was a pretty cool story. So when we were at Huntstock, we I don't even know if you knew this happened, but we saw you coming. You were walking up the road in front of our booth, but you were like across the way, like the other side of the road, like over there by
Beyond the
Ian.
boundaries.
And Trev goes to me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'd like to maybe. Like I want to talk to that kid, maybe have him on the podcast or something like that. I was like, "Who? Right there with the moose antler?" And Trev's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yo, come here!" and,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and and I mean, dude, you probably hung out with us for 45 minutes, an hour after that. You know what I mean? But
And
It
they
like,
was
came back
awesome, man. It was
again.
all love.
yeah, yeah.
It's all positivity. Bro, Drew, I want you to spit real quick. What is the craziest thing that ever happened to you while moose shed hunting?
Hmm. The craziest thing that ever happened to me. Well, we had this. I've called in a few giant moose to my tents before. But one day there was like this bull moose making these
On
crazy
purpose?
sounds. We thought it was, yeah, on purpose. Like I pretty much I hear the bull. We called him in. Come an hour later, while we're camping, it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I'll get out and I'll rake the tree with an antler, and I'll call that moose right in. And oh shit, hold on, blackout, and then boom, you die. The moose got me. Um, yeah. So one time I called in a moose who's the same moose I've had antlers of. Like this, like I found one antler, went back, matched up the antler, and I called in that moose with the same antler. It had the exact same antlers, just bigger. And the antlers I had were last year's antler, pretty much, which is awesome.
Wow.
But one night we called in this big bull. Didn't even know it was a bull at first, but it was either Bigfoot or a big bull moose. And all I know is we were so damn scared. I hopped in the truck. I was about to take right off. I had the keys to ignition ready to go because those sounds were freaky, man. Uh,
What did it sound like,
man, it was like roars, like roars, like just like that, but way deeper, man,
dude?
big time. It was no bear, it was no deer, no coyotes. It's either Bigfoot or a moose. I think it's definitely a moose. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking Squatch for sure.
Yeah, I'm a Squatch guy. I'm all about Squatches.
I, I've called a lot of moose, and I hear moose all the time. That was different. That was terrifying. My buddy, who's not afraid of nothing, he was freaked out. I'm like, damn, if he's freaked out, man,
Do you
you know what I
do you,
mean?
do you think you've ever had any other encounters of any squatches or anything like that? being up there because if they're gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be up in the North Woods.
Yeah, I haven't had any spooky stories besides that. I mean, I've heard some freaky sounds before. I've heard tapping on the wood, on the
Oh, you've
trees.
heard tapping. You've heard taps.
Heard taps. You know what I mean? I've heard like screams in a way, kind of like, sound like a woman screaming.
Mm.
So
Whoa.
where I heard it freaked me out, and me and my buddy are just like, man, I hope she's all right, whoever she or what that is. You know? All right, because we ain't going over there. We
Yeah.
gonna pray for whatever that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost got charged by a moose before. I ran into a mama that just gave birth and the baby couldn't even walk yet, and I ran into them on accident behind these trees, and she was pissed. The first thing she did, she got up and she went just like that, and all I remember is just taking off. Just I was out of there. You know what I mean? Head behind a tree. But I came back to record it, so I'm shaky. I'm scared. I'm recording it, so the video's all shaky. But I got the baby and the mama in the video, and she was making those same roar sounds that I just described to you that one night that the moose came to my tent. Those same roars sound like a damn monster, yo, like freaking beast.
That's
So
crazy.
that's how I know that what we heard that it was a couple years ago. We were camping in the spring when that happened. That's how I know it was a moose because I rewatched the video one day showing somebody, and it made that roar, and I was like, "Damn, that's what
That's
that
it.
was in the woods."
But that was
Mm.
first. It was before you ran into the mom at the time.
Yeah. No, this was afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't put two and two together at the time. You know what I mean? But it was definitely the same sound, a just roar of death. You know what I mean? Like beast, straight beast. You know what I mean? I didn't even know they could roar like that.
Drew, you had told us a story about you seeing the baby moose, and then there was this dude that stopped by the booth
Mm-hmm.
and showed us pictures. Yo, so these baby moose was born maybe a couple of days.
Twins, wasn't it?
Twins. He rolled up on these baby moose and the mother. Yo, he scared away the mother and starts taking like selfies from 2 feet away with the baby moose, dog.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like petting them type stuff. Like, yo, they was mad close, and he's taking selfies with them, with the baby moose.
Man, I could have done that one day, man. I literally had a baby moose walk up to me and my friend. Like just walk right up to us. He was feeding by himself, just feeding him on some maple trees. And we saw him and we were definitely the first people he's ever seen for sure. Cause he was eating and then kind of came out a little bit more, started eating outside the bushes instead of behind. And then he started looking at us and then just started walking towards us, yo.
He said, "Are you
Straight up, just
ready?"
like just like saying like, hey, what he just stood there. We were like literally like 10 feet away from this moose.
Dad?
And every now and then this baby moose, he looked back into the entrance of the woods, way in the back. There's a little opening of the woods. And I know that's where Mama was for sure. She wasn't there though. She must have been sleeping or somewhere else. Maybe the moose got abandoned, orphaned. I don't know. But that moose was like trying to say what's up and trying to hang out. And I could have walked up and pet the moose if I wanted to. But I was like, man, if I touch that moose, I'm going to catch some harassment charges from the mama. She going to get me. You know what I'm saying? That moose started playing with us, going in and out the woods, playing tag with us. I couldn't believe it, man.
That moose has definitely seen the Squatch, dude. There's no questions asked. That's what he thought you were. That or he
I'll
thought
tell
you
you
were
what, though, that moose is pop. They hunted that moose for sure. Walking up to people like that, he's in the freezer right now, man. Now he's been digested. That was 3-4 years ago. They ate him already, man. He's gone.
He's gone. He's gone.
If he's still in the freezer, you want to throw that out.
He gone. Drew, why don't you tell everybody what drives you outdoors, my man?
What drives me outdoors, man? Man, just the mysterious aspect of it. You know what I mean? You just every trip in the woods, you never know what you can encounter. You know what I mean? Whether that's wildlife or type of areas you find, whatever struggles you go through. You know, sometimes you go to the woods and things don't go as planned. You know what I mean? Stuff happens. That's just the beauty of the woods. You go there, it's just the adventure aspect of it. That's what drives me, man. The whole adventure of it. Everything. Those memories that you create and that you keep. That's why I keep a lot of my favorite antlers, because I look at the antler, I know where I got it, I know who I got it with, and I know what I had to go through to get that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Some are just not worth the money, man. People say I do this for the money. I do not do this for the money. If I do this for the money, I'm a dumbass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is like, I do this because I love it, man. Like, this is what I I literally like I used to. My first job in Maine was delivering pizzas. And then I landscaped commercially for 5 years. And then I just slowly was just leaning more towards the moose thing. I just kept on taking days off and calling out just to go up north. You know what I mean? Then I had it where I just was part time, and then finally one day I just quit. I said I'm done. I got my LLC, and I started doing the moose thing full time, and I have no regrets, man. I haven't worked a real job in 2 years. This is my job. I do antlers for a living, man. This is my job, and I'm blessed. Thank God, man.
So
Thank God you got out of the pizza game too, man. Like I would never talk shit about Maine. I love the state of Maine, but their pizza sucks, bro.
Uh, Not all of it, but a lot of it, yeah, for sure. Like, they got that fake ass dough. Freaking
Drew,
cheese ain't right. They don't know how to the biggest thing, the ingredients are good. They don't know how to cook the pizza. You get the
Yeah,
pizza back and it's all gummy.
yeah, their pizza
It's
sucks.
like, man, like I throw this back in the oven, keep cooking it. You know what I
Everything
mean?
else, Maine's the best. Everything, just the pizza sucks. That's it. Get your pizza right.
Yeah.
Just get your pizza.
There's a lot of good food out here, but I'm from Florida where we got real good food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of all kinds. Out here it's a lot of pizza and fried chicken. Nothing wrong with pizza fried chicken, but you can't eat that every day. You're gonna feel like shit.
you need Drew. You need to come down to Connecticut, and we're gonna bring you for some real pizza because it's some of
Oh,
the we have some of the best pizza in the country here in Connecticut.
I
Like
heard, I heard.
we
But
battle
usually
with
every
New
time I go to
York.
Connecticut, I just fly right past because it's scary down there. I don't know.
Well, next time you're gonna come and stay with me, and we're gonna bring you out for some real pizza because we're known for good pizza down here.
What's your best spot?
Oh well, we're gonna have to drive 45 minutes south of here, and we're gonna have to go down to some real good spots. I guess a contender locally would be like
Oh
Frank Pepe's.
man. Nah, take me to your best spot, man. I'm a freaking pizza freak, man. Like I eat a whole pizza to myself. You know what I mean? People like, you want to split a pizza? I know I'm skinny, but come on now. I can eat a whole damn pizza by myself. Give me
Hey
that. You know what
man,
I'm saying? To the point where you gotta like take it easy. You can't do it multiple times a week. You're gonna get clogged up. You know what I mean? You're gonna be in the bathroom and the pizza is gonna be taking 3 years to come out. Freaking worth it though, always, man. Just stop. Don't eat no Domino's and none of that. You'll be alright.
no, no. Drew, where can we make you rich, man? Where can people go find you? Buy some shoes. You got a website, whatever.
Yeah,
Social
I got a
media.
website, mooselands.com. You can reach out to my Instagram, Mooseman Drew, just Mooseman Drew. You can reach out to me personally. I'll get back to you. I don't ignore people. I ain't no damn celebrity. You know what I mean?
You got the
And my
merch.
website, mooselands.com, pretty much.
You got the merch. You got those T-shirts for sale that you were wearing.
Now, I'm working on it right now. I'm having them printed soon, actually, in New York.
All
So
right,
I got a
cool.
buddy that owns a business doing that. So I'm gonna get that done because I've had people down my freaking throat about that, man. People are killing me about them shirts. And I've
Mm.
just been slacking pretty much. That's what it comes down to. There's no excuse. I've been slacking. I'm gonna get it
You
done though.
you let us know when then things go live. We'll definitely both take
You
one for
already know
sure.
I'm
It's a
sending y'all
push.
2 shirts. Already know. Big time. What size y'all?
Well, mine is a little smaller than a hot air balloon.
Shit.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're gonna send 2 shirts, we'll sew them together for Trev.
Oh shit. We'll get you a moose blanket. How about
Yeah.
that? We'll get you a Moose Lands bed sheets, man.
Yeah, there we go. Get the moose
You
sheets
wear
bending.
that, man.
Drew, we really appreciate you, man. I'll post your links below here, so anybody who wants to go and check out Drew, they can go and get on over there to
Did,
Mooselands, follow along with what he's got going on.
did he get
Um,
to like Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff? Or did I
yeah,
cut him
oh
off?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah,
Oh, yep,
Mooselands, yep.
yep.
So I'll post those along. Go and check out Drew if you want to get your dog a dog chew. It's a real good thing to have. And until then, we appreciate all you guys, and thanks for following along and taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.